Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Blasphemy, you might be thinking from the title of this video. What do I mean that raw vegan is not for everyone? Especially for the really hardcores that believe that raw vegan lifestyle is the ideal diet for all human beings on the planet. And I don't tend to argue with that very much, but as always, I will introduce a little bit of the psychological aspect in there today. And to tell you the truth, I just see so many people out there struggling. And you know what? If you go back and watch some of my videos, a lot of the topics I come into, I start out like that. And I just realized one day after saying it for the 995th time that so many people are struggling out there because they are absolutely obsessed with this raw vegan thing, with being fully raw vegan. And you know, I just have to wonder, like, with all the struggle going on, like, how realistic some of these people are being. I would just have to say in the first place, I don't know. If it's really that big of a struggle, you have to analyze that and ask yourself the questions. Why are you struggling so much? Are you going against the grain? Is doing a raw vegan lifestyle just like, is everything about it, does everything about your lifestyle go against being able to effectively do a raw vegan lifestyle or diet? You know, it's just, I will say this over and over and over. I think stress is worse on the body than any of the food decisions we make. I think stress is worse on the body than drinking. I think stress is worse on the body than smoking. I think stress is probably the worst thing that we can have going on in our body. It's the worst thing, you know, for our health. And so many people are just like, they're down all the time, or they're feeling like a failure all the time because they just are constantly not succeeding on this lifestyle. And there's a lot of different reasons. And for those many different reasons, I just, you know, I don't know. I'm sitting around sometime and it's just something to think about. I don't have any conclusions here. Maybe something, if you're struggling or if you can identify with any of this, that you might be able to relate to and say, yeah, I deal with that. I mean, you know, sometimes, some people, it seems like everything's going against them. They live in a part of the world where it's very hard to do this lifestyle, where it's hard to get fresh fruits and produces. They have families. They're living with families. I'm not talking about just having extended families, but they're in the family unit, you know, like a wife or a husband, a couple of kids, whatever. And nobody in the family wants to eat this lifestyle. Even an extension of that, some people, besides not having anybody that eats the lifestyle in their household, they might have immediate family or outside family they're actually trying to sabotage or give them a hard time. Or they might have friends, so they might have that aspect going. You know, where they don't have access to a lot of good fresh fruits and vegetables. Nobody else is doing it with them in their life. People are even kind of against them sometime when they're doing it. And, you know, it seems like you're just trying to swim upstream. And, you know, when you keep failing over and over and over and over and over and over, you know, sometimes maybe you have to adjust things. Maybe there's a happy balance there. Now, I'm always going to say stay vegan. I'm sorry about that one, because that one's for the planet and the animals. That's more than just for our little selfish thing of even, you know, whether we want to be healthy or not. So I will say find a way to stay vegan, but for some of these people, it might just be best not to try to do the most extreme of the extreme. Maybe you can be a high-carb vegan that eats a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, that eats a lot of raw food, but maybe you take out that pressure of being fully raw. Maybe you eat things that the fully raw people don't eat. Maybe it makes it easier for you to go to gatherings. You can still stay vegan. You can still stay clean. I mean, for instance, you know, you go to a cookout. There's usually corn on the cob. You eat corn on the cob. You can find potatoes anywhere you can go. It's just not as stringent as the raw vegan lifestyle. And sometimes, who knows, maybe you could even be 85% raw, but just giving yourself that out. Just giving yourself that out, like where you're not absolutely batshit crazy obsessed with if you eat a bite of cooked food. Because I just see a lot of people where the raw lifestyle is I think is detrimental to their health. You know, people say things and then they almost kind of contradict themselves. I hear all the time, that this lifestyle, and where people, I don't necessarily pay a whole lot of attention to that because, it is what it is, and we can speculate about this is the natural diet for man. Man ate this way billions of years ago. I don't know. And then they say, oh, but this is the diet man was supposed to live in the tropics. Well, yes, and you guys see me. You see how easy it is for me, and maybe there is a correlation. I've always said I don't understand it. Maybe it's just because it is so easy and that's the only way I can do it. Maybe I'd struggle like hell. Maybe if I'd have done this in North America, maybe if I'd have come to this lifestyle when I was still in North America, I would have struggled my ass off too. So that just might be one explanation. Maybe when you're not in an ideal area, you're not meant to be fully raw. Like I say, these are no conclusions here. I'm not saying that as a statement, that you're not supposed to be fully raw if you're in this cold climate somewhere. I know people that do it, but what I'm saying is that's a possibility. Like I say, I've told you guys ever since I started this channel, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what it is that's my little magic mojo because I'm a screw up. I always have been. Things didn't come easy to me. I was, just four years ago, I was eating horrible. And this thing was just effortless. So maybe that's it. Maybe I was just in the perfect place. And when you're in the perfect place, it's easy. Maybe when you're not in the perfect place, it's a much tougher lifestyle to switch over to. I'm just throwing out a few things there, a few different reasons, a few different things to think about. But in the end, and I'm going to keep this one really short, is you're not doing yourself any favors if you're going on and on and on and on and on with attempting this raw vegan thing, fully raw vegan, gotta be all raw. That's the ultimate prize, that's the ultimate goal. And you're not getting there, and you've been doing this for a year, some 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I would say it's more doing you possibly more harm than it is good. Because like I say, you're stressing. It may not be excessive stress like you feel like, before you've taken a test, before something at work, or before finishing a big project, or certain things, but yes, you're stressing over there. I see that you're stressing over that. I see that stress every day in people's posts online. Every time you have to come to Jesus, oh, I fell off, I ate cooked food, and it destroys their psyche, and it just sets them back, and I just don't think that's good for the body. So might just be something to think about. Be realistic with yourself. Be realistic with your living situation. Be realistic with your lifestyle. Be realistic with where you live. Be realistic with who you are. And once again, like I say in a lot of the videos, that's a theme I go back to, is worry more about your health than your label. You hear some of the people, and I know I do my thing down here in Costa Rica, and I am fully raw, even though I don't preach the raw is law thing. I know you see people that are doing fully raw, and you just somehow, I don't know why, people just want to get there. Everybody's like, I want to get there. I want to get to that fully raw, but there's a lot of really healthy people out there that are high-carb vegans. So, like I'll say, and I'll finish up, always seek the health. Always seek the health. Don't worry so much about raw is law, being fully raw vegan. You can be a good, clean, cooked, high-carb vegan, but basically just do the best you can and don't put yourself in stressful situations. Anyhow, hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and hope you're having a good week. It's hump day. Peace.